got Anthony Lamb's contract converted from a two-way contract to now the 15th roster member. I think it's just for the rest of the season. I'm not sure if it's a 2-year. There's no information that really came out on that yet. But what do you think about the Anthony Lamb being the 15th guy and they finally using that roster spot on him? And then signing Lester Quinones, the guy who was having a great run in their G League team, to the two-way contract that Lamb had.
I didn't know about the Lester guy, so I got to do a little more research and figure out who that guy is. But in terms of Lamb, I think that's a good move. We kind of anticipated that it was going to happen, so it's just glad that we have our final 15 piece, so we can kind of just lock in on the guys that we do have and start to make a push and start to get a little bit of momentum before the season there. I always wondered how will we fill that 15 spot. Will we use a D League guy? Will we try to bring someone out off the street? But it was pretty apparent towards the end of the season that it was going to either be Lamb or Jerome. And based on our team needs, Lamb is a guy that better fits. So I think that they made a good decision doing that, because that's what we kind of need right now, more so than a guard like Jerome.
I agree. If we were to go off of that notion with those two guys, I totally agree. I think we talked about it last week too, so I was like, I'd rather go with Anthony Lamb, just big body. He can still stretch the floor and make threes when you need to. He does commit some dumb fouls, so that's the one thing that kind of, I'm not going to say it pisses me off, but I'd be like, God damn, come on, bro. Like, stop with the dumb fouls. Just either, if you're going to foul him hard, or don't foul him at all and let him get the bucket. You know what I mean? No little snake bite fouls and ones. Like, that happens a lot with Anthony Lamb. So that's my biggest gripe about him. Yesterday kind of pissed me off. I'm not even going to lie. I might get some gripe for this, but on the show, the post-game show, the two women, I'm not even going to say their name, but the two women on the post-game show, they brought up Anthony Lamb, and then they started bringing up the background shit.
Yeah.
And it was like, yo, I get it. I'm not going to say nobody's lying, nobody's telling the truth. I don't know what the situation is. Hell, I'm not even going to look into it. But for the guy that just got a contract, don't bring that stuff up on TV. It's unnecessary. Just like the Ime Udoka thing months ago. It don't need to be on TV. Just like Andrew Wiggins' situation, we heard the rumors. It's not on TV. It don't need to be on television. You don't need to broadcast that to the world after the postgame, on the postgame show, on the same network that carries your game. So I just thought that was a little tacky, and that the girls maybe shouldn't have mentioned that, especially talking about Women's Empowerment Month, and that's why we're doing this show today. I don't know, it kind of pissed me off, bro.
I agree. Though I didn't see that comment made on the postgame, I do remember when that initial incident was brought up a few months ago.
Right.
So I'm not sure what the latest update is or what's going on with that, but I do think unless there's any new news being brought up, that's kind of a bad time to bring it up post-game.
And that's all I'm saying. It was just a bad time.
Yeah.
It was unnecessary.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, but as far as for Lamb, though, congratulations. Again, we live in America, so guilty to proven innocent. I understand, but I don't want to get in trouble too much further. But as far as for the rest of the roster, GP2 should be evaluated, I believe, this coming week. So I'm not going to go ahead and say it's a possibility he could play in the Mavericks game, but he is on the road trip with them, and he will be getting reevaluated this week. So it's a good chance he can be back within the next week or so. So how do you feel if at least you get him back? Not Wiggins, but at least you get GP back. Do you feel a little bit more comfortable with the team, at least with that one-star defender back?
Absolutely. It's not going to make a total dramatic difference. Like, it's not going to turn our season around, but you're definitely going to see, at least from the guard position, a more controlled, perimeter in terms of whoever he's guarding.
Right.
The entire team might not follow suit, but you'll see less blow-bys, at least from the guard position. We'll be able to contain some of the better guards in the league, especially with the Lukas and the Jaws, and with the playoffs coming up, we're going to need our best guard defender healthy. So it's nice to get him back, especially at this time. We just hope that we can get maybe 3-4 games in, get his feet wet, get his cardio up before the playoffs start, because we're going to need him.
We absolutely going to need him. And I'll tell you this, I will absolutely feel a little bit more comfortable. And the reason why I would feel more comfortable is if you can throw him and like just say Dante DiVincenzo out, because either Steph or Jordan Poole or Clay, one of them three is going to be in the game as the main shooter. If you have those guys just to be just point of attack defense, and Steph, no front on Steph. Defensively, the last 4 or 5 games, I've seen him dig in. Everybody else around hasn't dug in, but I've seen him dig in. Now, maybe some late rotations on the switches, but besides that, one-on-one defense, he's been digging in. If you had those three out there just playing defense, being able to close out to shooters, you won't see so many three-point shots going up uncontested. Right. And I think it will help so much, even if it's the last 4 or 5 games. It's the last 4 or 5 games to get their feet wet going into the playoffs, or even possibly the play-in, because right now it's 7. So they would have to at least probably play one play-in game against Minnesota. So I would feel way more comfortable having that second defender, just like I would if Wiggins was to return. We would have that second defender that will make it more difficult to get in. Is it going to change in a big way as far as for the offense? No, but that's not our biggest problem. Our biggest problem is defense and stopping shooters and closing out to shooters and switching. So that's just my take on it. I feel like GP2's return will plug so many holes that we got right now. Not all of them, by any stretch, some of them. You're supposed to say, I agree.
All right.